Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rockpile Report, a Angels baseball podcast. I am the host of the show. My name is James Lindemood, and I am joined by Ryan Faya. How you doing, Ryan?
Great. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to have some video content to put out there because I've been doing this for so many years, and it's always been, articles. It's always been words. And I know that in this like modern landscape, people really like this kind of a format. So it feels good to kind of just like branch out like this.
Yeah, why don't we start there, Ryan? Tell the viewers who you are. Who is Ryan?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure most of you would know I am Ryan Faya. I've been covering the Angels since 2011. I started with Monkey with a Halo. I jumped up to Diamond Digest, a bunch of different websites. And in 2018, I started doing like on the field minor league reporting. So since then, I've really locked in, like being in the trenches, being with low A prospects with the Angels. I've done some work with the Dodgers too. I do photography too. So I really like staying invested with like what's happening with the minor league system, especially for the Angels, because like this last decade, it's been really hard to watch. So it's nice to like find like some outlet for baseball where you could just enjoy the sport without all these hangups.
I agree. And that brings me to me. I have no baseball acumen. I am a fan. I will be bringing the fan perspective, lifelong Angels fan. Obviously, was like 4 years old when they won in 2002. But big Angels fan, been supporting them all these years, like you said, despite it being rough last 12 years or so. But yeah. But I will say the goal of this podcast is to touch on the current state of the Angels and also to use Ryan's expertise, which is prospects. And I know a lot of people have an appetite to learn more about Angels prospects. So I'm very excited to be tackling that.
Yeah, it's always exciting talking prospects, especially with this fan base. I feel like this fan base is really knowledgeable when it comes to prospects because, again, like you have to really love baseball to be an Angels fan.
Yeah.
You have to really know like what you're watching, what you're talking about. And other fan bases like, that are a little richer, Dodgers, Yankees, Phillies, like they don't really need to dive that deep. And they do. There are fans that do, not discounting them. But for the Angels, like if you're not going that deep, like you're having a hard time watching baseball.
I agree. Also, like Angel fans are just hungry for it. They're like hungry for something positive. So they're like, please, this young guy, please. So yeah, I want to take us to the current state of the Angels. I think it'd be a good way to start off where just get the feel for how you feel about the Angels, how I feel about the Angels, and then go from there. So do you want to kick us off, Ryan? How's your general feel for the 2026 Angels?
Yeah, I mean, my general feel for the 2026 Angels while keeping it clean is like, it's unwatchable, really. Like, there's no point to watching games. Like, of course, you're a fan. You're going to want to watch games, and that's fine. I don't discount that. You don't get anything from, even if they win, there's nothing to gain from that. And like, as a fan, that's the worst place to be in because you sit down, you spend 2 to 3 hours watching the sport because you want some kind of like reward feedback at the end of the day, but you don't get that with the Angels, no matter how good a game can get. So it's like, I hate saying it because I'm a big fan and it's like such an unfan thing to say, but like, what's the point?
No, I hear you, especially with how they're losing, which is like in the 8th and 9th inning, where it's like, you're talking about a reward. We're not getting that. We're not getting that at all. I do want to hear I know we were being a little pessimistic, but what are a few bright spots, current Angels for you?
So, I mean, the big league team, everybody knows this that follows me. Like, I'm a Shanuel truther. I love Zach Neto. And I think there's a lot of like young talent that you can capitalize on. If you're not building around them going to the future, then you're trading them right now. So despite what's happening on the field, on paper, there's a lot to work with. It just depends how you want to utilize those assets. And the problem with the Angels is that they don't utilize assets. So with this new GM, like, in this draft, they kind of like showed that they were breaking trends by drafting a high schooler in the first round. So let's hope they continue to break trends by trading players with value.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, I share the same sentiments. Like they have a few young guys that I'm like a little optimistic on. You're definitely more big on Shanuel than I am. We'll get into that at some point, I'm sure. And probably even Neto too. I think you like Neto more than me. I'm just a sucker for the speedy defense guys. Typically love on base guys. So I inherently like Shanuel. I just think his ceiling has a limit. But yeah, Shanuel, Neto, Guzman, Moore, these guys excite me. And I'm even a sucker for guys like Kyron Perez still. And,
Yeah, exactly. Like he's still around. Like he's what 24. He's killing it in AAA right now. And I know he's small sample size again, but he's
PCL.
doing better right now in AAA than he was his first go around. Like his first go around in AAA, I think he had like a sub 500 OPS, but now he's like mashing the ball. He looks like someone in AAA how they should look. So anything can happen next year, like, or even this year, because at the trade deadline, if you offload Joe Adell, you have an outfield spot open. You know you're losing. There's nothing to play for except development. You throw Kiner Paris back in there. Just let him play out the season, see what happens.
Oh, I've been a big advocate for Perez being in the outfield. Oh my goodness. Like they
Oh,
should have been
really?
giving him reps in center field for a while now, and the dude's so fast. I think he should have
Yeah,
taken center field a while ago.
okay, that's interesting. I was thinking the same thing preseason, but I feel like playing center field has been so good for Mike Trout mentally.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I'm like, we have nothing to play for, so I'm like, let Trout do whatever he wants. And if it's going to help him be on the field and OPS close to a 900, like, sure. Like, it's fine. If we were going to move him off, it should have been a while ago. At this point, let him man center field until he can't.
Mm-hmm.
And once
like,
we
physically
start,
cannot.
yeah, or once we start dabbling with 500, then it's like, okay, we need to actually try to get some wins here. But yeah, Perez in the outfield would be fun. I mean, we got guys like Moore could potentially play the outfield, even though I think you and I both prefer him in the dirt. But yeah, they got options, and I'm optimistic. Like they got a lot of guys that are 25 and under still, right?
Oh, dude, so many guys. Like the Angels have one of the younger teams in baseball, and like that's something that you really can capitalize on.
You did touch on it a little bit, and I think this should be our next topic is the trade deadline. I think that'd be a fun thing to get into. I think you and I have a bunch of takes on the what they should do, and I know Angel fans are cooking up on Twitter about what they should do as well. So, do you want to start off with like your feeling? Like, what do you think they should do?
Yeah, I mean, the obvious one, like I've never been a guy for like mock packages, mock trades, but I do have like specific like single targets that I do like. And the obvious one to start off is Billy Carlson. He seems like one of the more available prospects. He's 19, like his value, I feel like even though he has a great ceiling, he's still in discovery mode. And I feel like now is a good time to try and get him. They just drafted Chalosky. There's plenty of room to like negotiate a decent deal. And Billy Carlson, like I don't think he's like a guy that's going to be headlining, but like he's a guy that's like going to be like one of the centerpieces of a package. You don't want him to be the package, but he's got to be in there.
All right. Firstly, we're probably talking Reed Detmers for to the White Sox to make a Billy Carlson happen. But actually, I'm intrigued because like if you look at a White Sox Twitter, they think Billy Carlson straight up will get it done.
Yeah, which is interesting. Like there are some people who don't like Reed Detmers, and I understand. Like if you look at the surface level numbers, like you see a guy with a 4 ERA, and you're like, oh well, we're not going to give up that much for him. A 4 ERA, what is that? Like middle bottom of the order. But his stuff is so good. Like I've always said that I think Reed Detmers is one of the most talented pitchers in all of baseball, and when he's on point, like it's so obvious. Like his fastball is clean, like his breaking stuff is sharp. Sometimes he has trouble locating it, but when he's locating the breaking stuff, like, oh my God, this dude is like one of the best pitchers in baseball.
But yeah, Reed Detmers is I think he should fetch more than Billy Carlson. It should be Billy Carlson plus 2 more.
Yeah. And I'm a sucker for Billy Carlson because he was in Corona. When he was on that team in Corona, I was doing photography for like 3 games, I think, and like just being around that team and like seeing their vibes, like it was crazy. There was the Evil Brothers, Seth Hernandez, like there was so many good players on that team. And like even to just get a piece of that magic and bring it over to Anaheim, I think would be huge.
For anyone that doesn't know who Billy Carlson is, he's a fairly weak hitting shortstop, though he is young and a great defender. And as I mentioned before, I'm a sucker for good defense. And my goodness, I would love to have someone solid up the middle. Like ever since Simmons left, it's like, can we find someone like that, please?
Yeah, and it's funny that you bring that up because like his defense is so good. Like you could compare him to like an Anderson Simmons type. And I know that like his bat has questions. I really do think there's more upside in his bat than people will give him credit for. I don't know if I would put it at like a Zach Neto level upside, but he's definitely a guy that won't just contribute with the glove, Yeah,
and he has good on-base skills, right? And so he has knowledge of the zone, and he's a big guy. So like he's still young. He could absolutely develop power, and even if that only translates to like a 720 OPS or even 700 with solid defense, like That's a
I'll
3-win
take that
player.
with that
Yeah.
defense. Oh, I'll take that every day. Absolutely. You know, I have like one of the more realistic targets. I've seen chatter about Zach Neto to the Red Sox, and I know that's just chatter. I'm not putting anything to it. But if the Angels did make a trade with the Red Sox, I would love Anthony Ianson so bad. I wanted him in the draft so bad that year. And, you know, the Angels skipped out on him, whatever, you know, it is what it is. But look at him now. Like, he's the number 2 prospect on the Red Sox. Like, he's a top prospect in baseball. Like, the dude is good. Like, he's a big pitcher. Like, he has a great mix. Like, he's the kind of pitcher that, like, he could really change an organization by just being there.
Yeah, and I'm with you there. I think any Neto trade is chatter. Like, it would have to be a ginormous package to steal Neto away from the Angels. Like, I think it's like a 5% chance of happening. It's very low.
There's been a lot of talk like on other specific podcasts or like on Twitter where people will kind of bring up like his attitude, or they'll say like he's not focused, or he's disinterested in this or that.
Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, like, with the state of the team that he's in, like Zach Neto, the way that he is as a player, like he's a captain, he's a leader, right? Like he's a guy that needs like a ship to direct, and he has no ship right now. Like that's why it seems like he's in like, I don't even want to say an identity crisis because that seems like a heavy word. But like, imagine Derek Jeter on a really, really, really bad team. Like, how do you think the captain is going to feel about that? Like, you can only do so much. And Zach Neto's in a place right now, like, he wants to be a captain. He wants to be a leader, but there's just no ship to steer. And, like, maybe next year, if you cannot surround him with something that's better than what you're seeing now, or 2 years from now, then yeah, you know, you trade him, of course. His value will probably just keep getting higher. But right now, like, there's still time to, like, give him a team. And I don't think you give up on that yet.
The fan of me is like, hey, give us prospects, like tear it all down, right? That's like my unhinged take. Send them all off. But like sending Neto off now is probably not the best move. There's still a chance he's a 5-6 win player in there. And I know that his defense by some metrics has slipped a lot. And he's striking out far more. It's like over 30%, which is very concerning. It's still in small sample size territory where I could easily see him riding the ship back, getting back to 25% strikeout rate, and hopefully keeping his walk percentage because he's walking a lot more this year. And I'm really enthused by that. Neto has the ability to turn it on, and I wish he would just have it turned on at all points and be consistent. But I do think if you put a winning product around him, he'll play up to it. And I know there's a lot of players like that, right? Like we all think Randy Arozarena, like he's got that vibe to him where it's like he plays up. So
yeah. And you know, I feel like people like they tend to like discount the human side of being a baseball player. Like these are still people, they're still human beings that have human emotions. So it's like you're at home watching the Angels, like, and you feel the way you feel. So imagine how someone like him feels, like being on the Angels, like having to live in that reality. It's tough. It's not easy.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a coincidence that we've seen like these players with these attitudes kind of not falling apart, but not meeting their own expectations or potential. Like there's Neto, there's Sandoval, there's Detmers, there's like even Joe Adele to a degree, Logan O'Hoppe. I can see why it's a struggle. O'Hoppe especially. Like I think there's levels to it, and I think Neto's keeping his head above water and performing, and he'll be a good player by the end of the year. But then on the flip side, you have someone like O'Hoppe where he seems like he's just crumbling in on himself.
Yeah, and that's tough because like I love O'Hoppe as a player, as a person. I love him on the Angels. I love him when he's good on the Angels. But last year, you know, like you look at his stats last year and you just take his name off the stat sheet and you see a guy that has multiple months where he's hitting 100. Like you got to let them reset in AAA. And the fact that you're not, because you're trying so hard to push that agenda, like you're not doing any favors for the team. You're not doing any favors for the players. Or Perry, like I loved Perry as a GM, but I won't say loved, but I liked him as a GM.
Yeah.
And, you know, he obviously didn't do himself favors because he got fired, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like these guys are like suffering under the weight of something that like at some point they can't control. And you need this new regime to just take control for them. Guys like Logan O'Hoppe, like, does he need to like hit a little bit in AAA? You know, maybe it's not for me to answer, but it's a question that this front office is probably talking about.
Well, actually, like that decision's coming because d'Arnaud is rehabbing, and someone's gonna have to either get DFA'd or optioned. It has to be Logan O'Hoppe optioned or d'Arnaud and Heineman DFA'd. One of those options, and I would rather them option O'Hoppe down. I really would.
Yeah, because if you're like looking at the second half of this year as a development half, the best thing for development is Logan O'Hoppe, probably in AAA. And I hate like it does not feel good saying that, but it just seems like it would be the best thing for him. Yeah. Yeah, and like that's another hard question because where you put him first base, left field, DH, like I mean, obviously right now there are no spots for any of that unless you see some major like overhauls in the trade deadline. But really, where do you put him? And people are gonna say first base, but like I think Nolan Shanuel has first base like as locked down as someone could have in the position that this team is in. I know people will like they'll say things about Shanuel, like his profile, but we're not in a position to play stereotypes. Like I understand what first base is. I have no issue with people thinking we need a first baseman that hits 40 home runs. That's totally fair. But we're not in that position to play these stereotypes. And Nolan Shanuel, like he has the second highest OPS on this team right now. So it's like if you want to move someone so that you can move someone else, so that you can move someone else, and then all of a sudden like everyone is out of position. And then what happens then?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm not a big proponent of like, hey, the shortstop needs to be fast. The first baseman needs to have power. Like our best defender is at third base right now. He should be at shortstop, but he's at third base right now. And because our shortstop hits tanks. And I'm okay with that. If you asked me at the beginning of the year, I would have been banging the drum of O'Hoppe to first. But like, in the minors, if he does get sent down and we trade Joe Adell, maybe O'Hoppe gets some reps in right field.
Yeah, but then again, you're missing out on Kyron Paris reps in right field.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do in a situation like that? Yeah, and I still feel very optimistic about him. I still believe in his ceiling. Again, like seeing this team the way it is, like I don't hold it against these players for like having the struggles they do. Logan O'Hoppe's are like, all due respect, like kind of excessive, his struggles. But the state of this team is pretty excessive too. So like you gotta like just give him a little bit of breathing room when it comes to that.
Yeah. Do you have any more thoughts on the trade deadline with like potentially Soriano, Detmers, Joe Adell, any of the relievers? I know there's been rumors about Zephyr and Bachman.
Yeah. I've seen that. I have. I think I've been seeing like Diamondbacks. Their fans are really interested in Sam Bachman.
They're clamoring for him. I'm seeing that too.
Yeah. So it's like when you have stuff like that, like you take what you can get when you can get it.
Oh, trade relievers whenever you can. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The moment you could get, that's how we got Clausen, right? We just flipped a reliever. Like that's how we got Zephyr too. We flipped the reliever. Like,
and it was like like aging relievers too that they flipped. So imagine what you're gonna get for like a young reliever. Yep. Oh my God.
Yeah, you could get like maybe 3 guys, maybe even a bottom tier top 100 guy. And if you could flip Bachman for a bat, you do it.
Speaking of that, like you hit a point that I wanted to talk about. This is like my like near impossible like trade deadline dream, but I would love for the Angels to link up with the Rays and get Tatum Gray. I love him so much. I wish that the Angels had drafted him. Obviously they didn't, but he's 18 years old. He's a switch hitter. He plays first base and he's a power guy, which, people in this organization, these fans, like they want to see a big power first baseman. Don't really have that in the organization. Like we have first basemen that can like swing for sure, but we don't have a guy that is just an undeniable tank monster. And like Tatum Gray is just so ridiculously good. And the best part about him is like he doesn't sell out for his power. Like his strikeout percentage is like 21%, and he has like a high walk percentage too, like about 16%. So it's like you don't like that doesn't grow on trees, and you're not going to get that anywhere. And if you can get it now, like the Rays love their pitchers, right? I don't think you're going to get a guy like him for like a Sam Bachman. If you could like get them enticed with Jose Soriano, Reed Detmers, like maybe you can, but I don't know. I think like Tatum Gray is probably as close to untouchable as it gets.
I mean, are you sure though? Because they have some other first base prospects, and then also Camanero's probably going to move over there eventually. I think he's in the Vladdy bubble where it's like, all right, how much longer can he play third? I think he'll be moved to first base eventually.
I definitely see that, and I agree too. And I would agree that like with players like that at the major league level, that someone like Tatum Gray, maybe not as untouchable, but he's a switch hitting power hitting first baseman who doesn't strike out and he walks a lot. Like, where do you get that? Like, you can't just develop that. Yeah. So like, just if you can get it, you gotta get it.
Yeah. And the Rays, like you mentioned, they also love affordable players. And if he could turn into a slugging first baseman, that's affordable. But I will say, like, Reed Detmers is enticing. And you potentially get him for a Detmers.
I think for a Detmers, like you can definitely get Tate Gray. Maybe for Soriano, but I don't know. I don't know where the Rays are at right now with their future plans.
If there's anyone, because I'm scared for Soriano right now. If anyone can fix Soriano, it's the Rays. Like I would believe if he got traded to the Rays, I'd be like, oh my God, Cy Young award coming.
Yeah, like the Rays have crazy black magic. Like I don't know if you've seen how Pete Fairbanks has been doing with the Marlins, but he's been awful. You know, Robert Stevenson, like you'd like the
classic.
You should never sign a pitcher that's coming off of the Rays because you're just not going to get that same production. You just can't replicate it.
No, yeah, them and the Brewers it just got something going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, one last thing with the trade deadline. Give me your overall who you would trade, who you wouldn't.
Who I would trade. Okay, it would be shorter to say who I wouldn't trade.
Fair.
And who I wouldn't trade, Zach Neto, Nolan Shanuel, because those guys, like, they still have value that they could tap into in the next, like, year or two. In the starting rotation, like, I mean, this is obvious, but, like, you know, Walbert Urania, like, I wouldn't trade him. But anyone else, like, you know, you can't trade Mike Trout. But other than that, like, it just seems like anyone else is fair game aside from like Denzer Guzman or like guys of like that age.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I would look to trade Joe Adell. I would look to trade Detmers because he's a hot commodity. And then if you can get something good for Soriano, do it. If you can get a significant package for the relievers, you do it. Because like they could trade Bachman and Zephyrzon and immediately bring up Chris Cortez and Luke Murphy. Like they have dudes that could fill in that void. And I would say like obviously you flip the guys that you don't care about, right? The Soler if you can, Yates if you can. But yeah, I'm big on Adele, Detmers, and the relievers are where I would start. I was gonna say like if you have a trade deadline of Adele, Detmers, and Soriano going.
Yeah, that's nice. And like we have positions inside our organization where we could just call up like Aldegary, you call up Clausen, just let him run, let him take over the spots, you know? So it's not like they're going to be fiending for like a decent arm to cover them. There's a lot of good things that can happen this trade deadline. It just depends on if Artie Morita lets them happen.
Yeah. All right. Shifting from the trade deadline, let's talk briefly on the 2026 draft. And I know it's a draft. We don't know what's going to happen, all that good stuff. Do you have any initial thoughts on the 2026 draft before we touch on the 2025 draft?
Yeah, you know, if you're drafting Grinlinger that high of a position, which obviously he was going to get drafted in the first round, of course, but you need to be trying with him as a two-way player because his pitching is so refined for his age. His pitching is like more refined than his hitting is. He's definitely like a better pitcher where he's at right now. And if you're going to just like abscond from that completely to focus on hitting, like, I think that you're doing something wrong. And he's young enough, like he's spry enough for you just send him out there, let him pitch, let him hit. Like if one falters, like if it's obvious he can't keep it both up, let him go with whatever's best. Like, but you have that kind of like versatility with him. So I really like that draft from like that positioning where they can develop like some really interesting players if they let them develop.
Yeah, I love that just change in strategy. I do love their second pick, just contact hitting second baseman, left-handed. Love that.
Yeah.
Their third pick, a power hitting first baseman. Love that. I just genuinely love the draft that they did. It wasn't as like splashy as last year's, which you're going to touch on some of the picks and why that was potentially one of our better drafts in a while. But like it was safe and good.
You know, the thing that I really liked is that I heard about Gavin at the Combine. He was spending a lot of time with Tim McIlvaine, the Angels scouting director. And he was like, because, you know, he's a California kid and he grew up a big Angels fan. Like he grew up a big Angels fan. And he was like insistent, like, I want this team to win a championship. Like I want to bring a championship to this team. And yeah, of course, like you have a lot of guys that say that. You have a lot of lip service, but I'm hearing that like Tim McIlvaine was like really bought into it because he really believed that Gavin believed it, you know? So like, I really like the whole idea of drafting guys who are from California and guys who guys who want to win with the Angels. I feel like there's like the missed market with just not going back to the California Angels.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started on that. Yeah.
California guys, like, bro, that is such a vibe. Like, that will go so hard. And it's obvious, too. Like, last year they should have drafted Seth Hernandez.
Ugh.
You should, I don't want to be this guy, but you should be putting that up at the top of the list. Like if a guy's from California, if a guy's in your own backyard, if there's two or three guys that you're deciding on, that should be something that teeters you towards that end.
I big time agree. And that was going to be my last point on why I liked this year's draft is a lot of local guys.
And okay, so here's the thing too, because the Angels got so much value at the bottom end of that draft.
Yeah.
So it's there's a big give and take. But with a guy like Seth Hernandez, California, I don't think you should be giving that up.
Yeah, if we did Seth Hernandez, we might not have gotten a Snead or a Shores. It might have been a little harder.
Yeah, getting guys or
actually more the prep arms.
Lewinsky.
Yeah.
Yeah, CJ Gray.
Yeah.
You're getting some nasty, Talon Haley, you're getting nasty arms. People discount this organization's development so much, and I understand that, and the hitting doesn't look that great. But the pitching is somewhere where people Dylan Jordan, he's arguably the best pitcher in low A. That means something,
And that's why I say trade for bats this deadline, because their pitching is, I haven't been this optimistic in a while. I haven't seen them have this many arms ready to go that look this promising. So I'm with you there. Obviously their development is not the best, the Angels in general, but they're doing something right now with their pitchers, especially their pitching.
Yeah. Yeah. And I say this all the time. I'll say this to anyone that will listen. But I was there in 2018, before Perry, back when the farm was really, really, really bad. And I'm telling you, it is a night and day this, and down in low A, this, it's completely different, this organization, at least with the young guys that they're bringing in. Back then, no disrespect to those players, but you have a Joe Adell, you have a Brandon Marsh coming through every now and then, but around them is just DFA candidates or organization, but you have a whole minor league system of organization fillers. Mm-hmm. And now you have a minor league system full of actual baseball players. It's Perry transformed the system, and I will go out and I will say that every time. And I understand certain draft picks, certain free agent misses or whatever, but when it comes to repairing the damage from the neglect, it's ridiculous, and he should get more credit than he gets, I think.
Especially the last few years. Obviously, when he first started, I was a little more skeptical. The Bachman pick, just those kinds of picks. You take a guy who's clearly a reliever in the first round. It's just those were a little more indefensible. I would say even Shanuel in the first is a little that's, I think it's a third round bat, second round bat maybe, but. Yeah, absolutely. Especially the last two, what he's done with the pitching. And I would actually like to get into that right now. Let's break down the 2025 draft, because we have more sample size. So I think we spend more time there. I know you and I have a bunch of favorites, and would love to dive deep into them. From the 2025 draft, who'd you like to start with?
Well, I mean, we're already talking about the prep arms, so we could definitely start there. But again, Johnny Slowinski might be the best prospect in this organization. And if not the best, top three for sure.
Top three for sure.
Dude, that guy is a demon right now in rookie ball. And it's unfortunate that he's day to day with his oblique strain. And the season in rookie ball is going to be ending. They're going to be going to playoffs soon. So you really hope that he could be involved in that. He would be a big part of it. But Johnny Slowinski, man, he is elite. His ability to miss bats is second to none. He's a lefty. A lefty starter. He's so athletic. He was a multi-sport talent. He lettered in multiple sports in high school. He was one of the best pitchers in Texas high school baseball. And
yes,
it's showing.
Still 19 years old too.
Oh man, dude, that's so that is so big for this organization. Just guys like that.
Yeah, high K percentage, high low walk percentage, chase percentage, whip percentage is just. Ooh, you dream on it.
Yeah. And then, on the other side, you got CJ Gray, who was such a raw player because he was not pitching very much coming into the draft. He was a football guy. He was going to go to college, play some football. He was going to be a quarterback. And, that just shows how athletic he is, which is great. Athleticism isn't everything in baseball. You got to know how to play baseball. But this guy, like, even though he hasn't had that much experience, like, he just has that, like, baseball, like, he just has that it thing, you know? Like, the dude, he can hit up to 100. Like, he has a great pitch mix, like, controls a thing. Like, he's a little raw, but even in his rawness, like, he's still striking guys out like crazy. Like, his control is still better than some people might have thought it would be, at this point in the season when you're looking at the draft last year.
Yeah.
So, CJ Gray, like, we're still learning a few things here and there, but from where he's at right now, like, and again, that's why you see guys like Tyler Bremner. He gets drafted, like, you save money on him, but then you overslot for guys like CJ Gray and Slowinski. And
Yeah.
that's where, like, you get that trade off.
Yeah. And you might get like number three starters, maybe number two starters out of
Yeah.
it
Now,
rather
number
than
two,
just one guy.
yeah.
And also, like with
Yeah.
CJ Gray, I would much rather the talented all sport athlete become a pitcher than a hitter. I think those
Yeah.
all sport
Yeah.
athletes that try to hit, I think are usually behind, and it takes them a while to like see the number of pitches it takes to develop. So I love the all sport athletes that just decide to chuck the ball.
Yeah, and he's a quarterback. Like, he
Yeah.
has natural arm talent. Like, that's who he is as a person. And
Yeah.
I love that they, like, just went and they saw that and they targeted it.
Yeah, I'm in love with last year's draft, man. It's like,
Yeah, me too. I really liked it. I liked it a lot.
yeah. You eyeing anyone else?
Yeah, I got a bunch. I mean, I'm just gonna go straight for it. One of my favorite prospects in the system is the guy that, like, a lot of people aren't really looking at, but Nick Rodriguez.
Mm.
He is so good. Like, he leads the Southern League in doubles. He just won Southern League Player of the Week. When he was in college, like, he won MVC Player of the Year in 2025. He comes straight into this organization in October in instructional leagues. He wins MVP. Like, this is a guy that just knows how to collect hardware. Like, it just gravitates towards him. And this is his first year in Pro Bowl. And he's, like, out hitting almost every prospect. Again, hitting depth is very thin. He's out hitting almost everyone. Like, the only person you can really put over him is Christian Moore. And if we're being honest, like, I think I think Nick Rodriguez is closer to Christian Moore than people might initially think.
That
And I'm not
actually
saying
that surprises me too. Yeah.
Yeah, like, his bat, like, he's not going to be hitting tanks. Like, Christian Moore is a tanks guy,
Yeah.
and that's great. Christian Moore is great, but Nick Rodriguez is, like, so much better than people might be thinking.
I love that. Yeah, because you mentioned him to me, and I didn't really know too much about him, so it was fun learning more about him. And yeah, after doing some digging, I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Nick Rodriguez, and then, going back down to rookie ball, I love TJ Ford. I think TJ Ford is, like, was such a sneaky pick. He's so good, and, like, switch hitter. He can hit the ball hard from both sides, especially the left side. Like, his swing from the left side is so nice. And he's fast. Like, people debate, is his speed 70 or is his speed 80? I think his speed is 80. That dude is so good. His hitting is so good and so underrated. And, right now, he's like, there's, like, a talk, like, should he be in low A? Should he be in rookie ball? He's 20 years old. So people might look at his numbers and be like, oh, he's 20 years old at rookie ball. Like, yeah, he should be hitting like that. Yeah, it's easy to say that, but, you don't just hit like that because you're 20 years old. Like, that's just not how it works.
Yeah, it's his first year, and he's still doing that.
Yes. I personally believe that the Angels are holding him down in rookie ball just because they want that team to go on another championship run, and they want guys like him who could just whack the ball, who could just get on base, who could just steal, who could just run all over the place, And you go, you take this core that's there, like TJ Ford, Slowinski, CJ Gray, like Juan Cespedes, like all these hitters, like Jason Horton. Like, there's a lot of guys on rookie ball that after the season ends in August, you just send them right up to Rancho. And then you let them go right into another playoff run. Like, that is so huge. Like, if the low A, like, team, it was the 66ers last year, it's the Quakes now, but, like, they've always, like, come up a little short in the playoffs, which is fine because the most important part at that age is getting there.
Yeah.
But, like, imagine what it would do for these players to win 2 championships professionally in one season. That's huge. And so I was hearing that the Angels, they specifically, like, they want him to go slow with, putting on muscle, putting on mass, and getting bigger because they don't want to impact his speed and his speed development.
Yeah.
Because he's really fast. He's really, really fast. And his power, like, I don't think he's gonna be like a big home runs guy, but if he's putting the ball in the gap, like, dude, let him have that speed so he can take advantage of that every single time.
Yeah, and I love that we have a couple of those guys cooking in the minors where it's like you got your TJ Ford and then your Nelson Rada, right? Where it's just like quick slap on base guys. And you
Yeah,
need those. You need those.
yeah, I definitely would put TJ Ford's bat over Nelson Rada.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Nelson
Big
Rada's like,
time.
yeah, but Nelson Rada's like his speed on the base and like his defense is like major league. It's
Yeah.
major league ready.
Yeah. A few more guys that I wanted to get your like input on are Nate Snead and Chase Shores.
Yeah, I feel like those are two guys that really signal like a difference in philosophy or like a change in philosophy because those guys were relievers, and the Angels bring them in and they're developing them as starters. And these are guys where like they could have easily fast tracked them to the majors, easily as relievers,
I thought
but
they
they
were going to do
decided
that when
not
they
to.
drafted them, by the way.
Yeah, so many people did, but like obviously like I had a little more belief in Perry than a lot of people, but I saw that and I was like, "No, these guys are going to develop as starters. Like they have it, they have the pitch mix, like they have the athleticism. Like a guy like Chase Shores, like his control is like the biggest. Like I wouldn't say it's the biggest thing. People will say that, but I really think it's like the starter durability is like so important for him. And like right now, I would say don't go on his baseball reference page. Don't look at the stats and think that that's who he is. Because
Yeah.
you see the ERA, it might confuse you. No, 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 no. Like all that matters is that this guy's going out. He's averaging like 61 pitches to start for a guy who was a reliever last year who's probably throwing no more than 20. That's a big jump. So we're just letting that guy's arm develop. Next year, like you can start thinking a little more about like what's happening with his control, like where are the quality of his starts at. But for where he is right, I love where Chase Shores is right now. I really buy into that. And Nate Snead, uh, I would say not as much on the same level as Chase Shores. I think he can work out nicely as a starter. He has a bigger pitch mix. Chase Shores, like he's working on a third pitch. He's a fastball slider guy. As a reliever, he would be absolutely elite, like completely elite. But if you let him develop that extra pitch, get some real starter juice out of him, again, Nate Snead, like he really didn't he wasn't really much of a strikeout guy in college, Nate Snead. Like he's always been like control, like contact out, which is great. Love to see it. I mean, even in high A, he's still like putting up decent strikeout numbers. Like his last four starts in high A have been 23 innings pitched. He's got a 1.17 ERA. 24 strikeouts. Like I know you look at the immediate numbers and you see like an ERA that, might be a little bit like closer to up there than down there, but
Sure.
you like break down like his start by starts, like his little stretches. And like he goes on good stretches. Like Nate Snead is a guy that can like put it together. But again, these are like two guys that are developmental. And, since we're talking about college guys right now, I wanted to bring up Sam Sequoian because he's looked interesting. And if you look at videos of him, like he looks low-key dirty. Like he looks nice. And this is a guy he was a 20th round pick as a reliever. So like people aren't going to be looking at him. But then you go and you see what he's doing, you see how he's doing it, and you start to wonder like if he's going to be like the biggest surprise of the draft, not because of ceiling, not because of talent, but just of what he's able to do from the position that he was drafted in.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. Do they have him starting right now?
No, he's a reliever.
So he's just a reliever that could potentially fast track.
Yeah, and even with him, like I don't even like fast track. It's tough because I think he's like 23 right now.
So when I say fast track, I'm thinking like next year, a year and a half.
Yeah, like I would definitely go like a year and a half. Like personally, if it was me, like I would just be letting him develop until he's like 26.
That makes sense.
And then you bring him up. Yeah, like they let him just get two more solid seasons. Maybe after next season, you can start thinking about major league looks.
Yeah.
But he's a guy, like, I think if you let him cook, like he's gonna be doing something nasty.
Yeah. And I have a few thoughts on Nate Snead and Chase Shores. Snead, I just love that he's not walking guys. You take the guy going from relieving to starting, obviously there's going to be bumps. I would not be surprised if both these guys just show out next year once they're a little more comfortable and work out in the offseason and come in as starters with a year under their belt. There's stuff to like there, despite like some of the results not being there. And with Chase Shores, I love that even with his ERA being high, his FIP is 381. So it's like his process is good. And also like with Chase Shores, I watch him and I'm just like, dude, just extend your arm a little more. It's like he's 6'8", yeah?
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Dude, just extend that elbow. Like he looks pretty short to it, and I think if he got some mechanic cleanups this offseason,
Yeah.
he would be even more devastating.
Yeah. And you know that he was injured. I think
Mm,
last year or maybe 2 years ago, he was coming back from elbow injury. So like really what you're seeing now is just he's getting used to just using that arm again and just using it at like this volume. So
that
it's
makes
interesting when
sense.
you say something like that, like you get a little more out there. You'll
Yeah.
probably see that next year when he just feels more comfortable with his body again.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and obviously, yeah, these guys are new to starting. It's gonna take some development, but I'm with you. Big arms, really hyped on them.
Oh yeah, man. There's another guy. Jake Monroe was a fourth round pick last year, and you don't hear anything about him. Like
Yeah,
it's
tell me about
strange
him
to like
because I don't know much about him. I don't think most Angel fans
yeah.
do.
So I mean, he was drafted as like a corner infielder. He's been doing nicely, like he's not striking out. He's walking a lot. I believe his ISO right now are yeah, I believe his ISO was like 247, which is insane. That's really high. So like he's a guy that you just let him keep doing what he's doing, let him refine his plate approach. Like he can keep the ball in the air, like he can drive it. He's he might be like a guy you look at him next year and all of a sudden people are going to be thinking like where did he come from? And they're only going to be thinking that because they weren't looking at him now.
Yeah, his Savant page looks pretty nice. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, it really does. And like again, you wouldn't think that because who's saying his name? Like
Yeah,
who's tweeting about him? Like not very many people, and he should be getting more.
I mean that's kind of what happens once you get past the third round. These guys kind of disappear until they prove themselves, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
also, he's not on top prospect lists, and even with the Angel system, right? It gets incredibly thin, and I put that in quotes because it's like
Mhm.
they're deeper than the top three. But like once you get past the top 10, these are guys that are like just entering the system. So I do think in the next year we're going to see a lot of these guys we're discussing like skyrocket up their prospect lists.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't even think Nick Rodriguez is on the top 30 list right
I
now.
don't believe he is. No. All right. I want to touch on a few guys that weren't drafted last year. Just general farm updates. Do you have any thoughts on some of the Angels farmhands?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been talking about it. I wanted to start obviously with Juan Cespedes. He's been ridiculous. He's been unreal. Like
Mr.
he's not
Stolen
just
Base.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you see the stolen base numbers, and those are like unreal. But he's not just fast. Like his ability at the plate, like he's getting on base like in so many different ways. Like the dude had like a 4 walk game. Like he could put
Wow.
contact on the ball. Like he could hit the ball. Like he's not a guy that just like he's begging to get on base so he could steal. Like he's threatening to get on base all the time. And like all he has to do is hit a single and he'll be on third. That's the kind of player he is. But the craziest thing about that is like he still really isn't unlocked into like his body. Like he's still growing. He's still putting
He's still
mass
a
on. So like
kid.
bro, imagine this guy, like, if he puts on some muscle without impacting his speed, like, he really starts putting the ball in the air and it's really driving it. Like, this dude, like, I really think he's like a nuclear bomb waiting to go off. And, and then, like, you see, like, in low A, like, John Wimmer is a guy that people have been talking about lately. Like, he was in rookie ball for 2 straight years. Now, like, it's his first season in low A. And, like, man, when he was in rookie ball, like, he was putting up, like, a sub 700 OPS. Like, nobody's like looking at him as a prospect. And now like his OPS is over 1,000 in low A. Like, yeah, I get it. He's 21. Like people will say like, oh, 21, like you should be doing that. But again, it's not that easy. But the dude might finish the low A season with an OPS over 900. Like maybe like over 1,000. Like, maybe not, but maybe it could happen.
Yeah, it's still
He just
impressive.
needs,
Like,
yeah, yeah. He just needs to like just cut down the Ks a little bit and he could like be a real mover.
yeah, another guy that I said it on the top, Kyron Perez, man. I am a Perez defender. I think he should have gotten more run last year. And I really, really hope he gets a chance this year after the deadline, potentially, especially if they ship some guys off. Like, we didn't even talk about it. There's a chance they trade Peraza or Grissom. Like, one of those guys could go because they don't have options. And they have a lot infield log jam. So it's like you got to play your future, right? And I would I would suggest that they trade one of those guys and bring more up. But even Perez could be the next man up, right? Like to take the bench spot.
I agree. Like last year, they should have given him more runway. But they were in a position like early in the season where they looked like they could compete. So they were trying to do something. And,
Yeah.
he got real cold. So they tried to do something else with someone else. And it didn't work out, obviously, because they didn't compete last year. But like, you're not competing. You have that guy who has like major league experience, because that dude was on an insane run. Like he looked like Aaron Judge
In
for like
spring training. Yeah, even his stance and his load, it's like, I know he went to his hitting coach and all that good stuff. So it's like, it's the reason why he looked like him. But man, there's just something, and I know the underlying stats said that it was like unsustainable, but I still believe in Paris. I just do. He's fast on the dirt. He's a good defender. Like he steals bases and he can pop the ball. Like there may be a world where he can sustain major league success, even if he's running a 30% strikeout rate. There's still a chance.
That's what I was going to say. The only thing is that like he whiffs hard. He chases hard.
Like a lot. Like Spencer Jones levels of like scariness going on there. In
a season where you think you're competing like that, like that's a little tough, but in a season where like nothing's happening, like who cares? Put him out there.
Yeah, I agree. And I really do hope he gets a call post deadline, especially if they trade a Peraza or a Grissom.
And I did have like one more guy I wanted to talk about, and he's not really like a prospect like he is a prospect, obviously by name, by trade, but I think Rylan Zabrowski is like such an important part of like what's happening in low A. He's a guy that like he can push that team to the playoffs. And we were just talking earlier about how important it is for these young kids to like really know how to grind for a chip. Like he was an undrafted free agent. So like you really didn't waste any, I don't want to say waste because that's a bad word, but you didn't use any capital on him at all to get him on that team whatsoever. He's putting up like a 900 OPS. He's putting that team in a position to win, to go to the playoffs. Like he is so like having guys like that is so important for development of the guys that you put big resources into. And you hear a lot of talk, like people are saying like Shanuel replacement, possibly, maybe. And it's like, you have to back off on that. Not for any reason other than like this guy, he's 24 years old and this is his first year in professional baseball. Like that's thinking way too fast.
Yeah, he's Shanuel's age and doesn't have any, like he's just getting going.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you have to let him get going at his own pace. Like you can't put him on a pace because like you have this like Shanuel replacement theory, right? And you want to put it into action. Like that's not going to work out. He's a guy like next year he's going to be 25 all season. So just let him start the year in high A. Just see what he does for the first half. If he could finish the year in double A, you got a guy who's 25 in double A. The year after that, 26 years old in triple A. Like that's fine. Like that's normal, you know? And his first year again, 24 years old in Pro Bowl, like you start to think like you could feel that clock ticking, and it seems like that clock is ticking. But next year, like he might be able to like really slow it down, slow that clock down, slow that development down, put him in a position where like he can actually be like a major league breakthrough player. And his profile, it's tough to say what kind of a major league profile he has. Like he might be a cup of coffee guy, he might be a filler guy. Might be a guy who breaks out. Okay, who you got?
Patrick Wisdom.
That's wild.
Some crazy whiff, but he's gonna hit some tanks, and that's the player I think he can be. But I don't think he turns into a regular. Like worst case, if Shanuel doesn't like break out or just sustains, maybe he's a platoon side partner with him in a couple years. But I'm higher on Shanuel.
Yeah, I'm pretty high on Shanuel, and I don't want to touch on that too much, but like people give him a lot of like trash because he's not the prototypical first baseman. But you see, like the way he's been developing, like Shanuel can really get around balls on the inside of the plate. Like he could extend a little bit out towards the middle. He struggled on the outside, but like he can like dump balls over the right field wall. If this guy was on the Yankees, like Shanuel would have 20 home runs. Like I have no doubt about that at all. So like, again, like that's not to say anything about like making excuses about him as a player, because obviously he's not in the Yankees, so you can't really count for that. But he's he has more offensive value than people want to give him credit for. Again, second highest.
Not even just like offense just in general. Like, because I know he gets bad rap at first, but I think he's adequate. You get an adequate first baseman that gets on base, and yeah, his OPS. Like, if you asked me a couple months ago when his OPS was below 700, I would have been a little pissy about him. I would have been quite upset. But he's chugging around like 730 now at 740, and like that's like good.
He's sniffing a 280 batting average. Like, I know, like in this day and age, like batting average is like a dirty word to some people, but like he's a guy who like he gets on base, like he could put contact on the ball. Like he has like 3 walk-off hits already in his career or something like that. Like,
I know this is episode 1, but we're gonna be talking about Shanuel a lot. I feel like.
Let's go. That's my guy. I'm so down for that.
Yeah, because Shanuel's like. I'm torn, man. My final thoughts on him are that he's young still, and we rushed him. They really messed with his development. I just would not be surprised if next year he runs like a 380 on base and a 430 slugging. You know, maybe a 450.
Yeah, I know you touched on this guy earlier, but Luke Murphy, like, do you?
Yeah, I want you to dive into him because like I'm a little bit uncertain about him, but I know he is a fan favorite on Twitter.
Yeah, that's the thing is like that he looks so crazy in double A right now. And he's 26 already, I think.
Yeah.
So you're really like asking like what are they doing? Like, are they letting him develop or are they gonna let him be a 27-year-old prospect? I know you see like the Dodgers will do stuff like that. But over here, we don't do that on this side of the freeway. But I really like I was thinking about it, like, what are they doing? Like, they haven't called him up. And I'm wondering if they're like keeping him down for trade value.
To trade him?
Yeah, as like a package. If you can like target a bat and you need a little bit of extra value here and it's a team that's like ready to compete. If it's like, again, going back to like Tate and Gray and it's the Rays, and you just dangle a little Luke Murphy in front of their faces, like maybe you could get a little more like leverage in those
pitching machine teams might look at him and be like, okay, yeah, let's get our hands on him. I hear you.
Absolutely.
I do think, like, what do you think he is on the pecking order? Because I know that's what like Angel fans like really care about, the sickos that are online. Like, do you think we trade or DFA Yates, maybe trade Bachman if we get crazy with it? Do you think he's next up?
He should be. He really should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know anyone else like aside from like I know Jose Fermin gets like the up and down a lot. But like aside from him, like
Chris Cortez, maybe.
Like Sammy Natera Jr. was one of those like next guys up. They brought him up. Look at him. That dude is a monster. That dude's an animal. We would have been talking about him in like the prospect updates if he was still a prospect. But thank God he's not anymore. He's still shedding the status, but You know
how we were talking about like giving Kyron run and maybe Christian Moore. Like I want them to, and we talked about the starters. I want them to do that with the bullpen, man. Like flip some dudes, right? Make sure like Stevenson doesn't touch this bullpen. Like I want to see post deadline. If we don't trade Bachman and Zephyr, those two, I want to see Ben Joyce, I want to see Luke Murphy, and I want to see Chris Cortez, and just let those guys cook, man. Just let them cook.
Yeah, and then like going off of that, like I would like the same thing for George Clausen. Like when that starting spot opens up, like put him in,
leave him,
and let that guy just develop. I don't care if like he walks like 5 or 6 guys a game. Don't care. Let him develop.
Yeah, Ryan. Like I feel that way with Clausen, Ryan Johnson, and Urania. Let them sit there and breathe, which is also why I think we should trade Detmers or Soriano, maybe both, because then I would love to see a rotation of Urania, Clausen, Rodriguez, and these guys, Ryan Johnson. Just like figure out, like this is something the Angels don't do, and I'll probably end on this rant, but it's just like post deadline, just play the kids so you see what you have next year. Like it peeved me that they wouldn't just give the keys to Christian Moore at the end. They were like, they gave him at bats, but it's like, if you're going to keep him up, like they messed with his rookie eligibility.
Yeah.
It's like
the service time.
If you just if you're going to mess with it, just let him eat, let him play until the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like, and they should do that this year.
It's a good rant to end on because like that really, really frustrated me last year. Like personally, I don't think he should have been up at all last year. Just let him develop.
I agree.
He's a guy like if you're gonna call him up and just let him play. and like they didn't do that last year. They're not doing that this year. Like they
They
called
did it
him up to
worse
try and like
this year. Yeah.
yes, yeah, exactly. Like try to have him play left field when he hasn't been playing left field, and like it doesn't work out. And then you have these reports that he's like throwing a tantrum. I wouldn't even use the
No,
word
disagree.
tantrum
Yeah,
because,
I hate that. No. There's like
dude,
this
he like
weird
rightfully
energy.
so.
Yeah, there's this weird energy with Angels baseball right now where it's like they're getting on players for potential attitudes and personalities. Like, I could care less. Like, Christian Moore has a right to be upset. They played him at
Yes,
second,
absolutely.
at third, at left in the minors and call him up. He plays one game in left field, makes some mistakes, and then you're scared to play him at all. Like, if he's up, give him the runway. And if he's not, don't call him up. Like, I just don't understand what they are doing with him. That's how you mess with players' confidence. You see what happened to Joe Adele? That's what we're doing to Christian Moore right now.
I was about to say that. I was
It's
about to say the
crazy.
same thing. Like, then this is like your first round pick. Like, this is a guy that like you should be on the same page with him. He should know what plans are. And the fact that he's like being vocal in a public setting about how he feels about what's happening, to where reporters are seeing it. Like,
Yeah,
bro, honestly, I like that he did that. I
I agree.
love that Christian Moore, like, because he like put this organization on blast. Like, say what they're doing wrong, like put it out there. Like, I don't care if you're a player, a fan, a journalist, like there needs to be as much heat on the Angels as possible where they deserve it. Because there's some heat that they get that they don't deserve, like with prospect rankings and this and that. But stuff like that, like, no, let Christian Moore sing as loud as he wants to sing.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, oh, if he didn't like it, play better. It's like, okay, in 15 at-bats.
Bro,
Sure.
come on with that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
like you're gonna tell me like that sample size of 20 at bats is like meaningful.
no, it's not. And also, like, if you're gonna do the whole, like, it's the Rafael Devers situation. You should have had foresight. You should have had foresight with a position change. And I know Guzman forced the hand this year, right? We did not expect him to become a guy. He was a good prospect, but like this year he really switched it on. But once Guzman started tearing it up, you should have had that conversation with Moore. Like, hey, we're going to put you in left field. We think you could become an asset to us. And when you're ready, we'll call you up and that position's yours. Because who's blocking him? Meckler? No. Lowe? No. If they wanted to try that, put him in left field every day, leave him there, let him gain his confidence, and then call him up when he's ready and give him the keys to left field and don't change it.
Yeah, like this is your first round pick and you don't know what you're doing with him. Like,
yeah, and
you got to get together.
I'm with you on like just keep him on the dirt, let him play where he's comfortable. But like I know Taylor Blake Ward tweeted that like when he got drafted, he saw Christian Moore as a left fielder, and I see it. Like he's a quick guy. I could see him becoming a really good left fielder. But it's like this is what I mean. Like you make a decision and stick to it. Like I hate this notion of swinging guys around. You do those to the guys that are incredibly athletic and can play multiple positions, not with a dude that's only played one.
I just hope that like next year, like, you get some positions that open up in the trade deadline this year and you just don't have to do stuff like that with these guys.
I agree. And that's the only reason why I would be okay with trading Neto. So it clears up the infield.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. All right, Ryan, I think this is a good place to stop.
I do. I agree.
For everyone watching or listening, thank you so much. Ryan and I are going to be trying to upload an episode every 2 weeks to start. We'll adjust from there. Feel free to give us a follow on our socials. I'll link those down in the description. We have a YouTube channel. Our episodes will be up on Spotify. Ryan, you want to shout out your Twitter real quick?
Yeah, if you're not already following me at RMFaya, it's RMFALLA, then you can go ahead and find me on there. I focus on prospect coverage. Like that's my thing. Like I have my major league like critiques, criticisms, like all of that. But right now, like there's just nothing to say. So I'm just really like going all in on the minor leagues right now.
Gotcha. And Ryan's a good follow on Twitter. I am just getting started on there. My Twitter handle is JW Lindemood. The O's are X's. Feel free to click the link in the description. If you want to engage with me as a fan, I will give the irrational fan takes. But with that, we're going to wrap up here. Thank you, Ryan, for doing this pod with me. It was fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. And good to see everyone on Twitter.